Saat ini secara eksklusif datang hadir ke studio di Closing Bell CNBC Indonesia adalah Vice President Polish Investment and Trade Agency, Mr. Wojciech Fedko. Mr. Wojciech, thank you for coming. How are you?
Well, thank you for having me here on the program.
Yeah, it's been 21 years. Why is it now? You're coming to Jakarta.
Well, it's 25 years since our, I guess, foreign minister visited Jakarta. Myself, I was in Jakarta early this year. So for us, the Polish Investment Trade Agency, I guess we're here to stay now with the new office. So we're getting a lot more advanced in the knowledge of the Indonesian market this year, 2018.
Is there any specific target or the importance of your coming here after 25 years, like you mentioned before?
Well, we are here as part of this expansion of Polish business program that our agency is conducting all over the world. We're setting up 70 offices in the world, and we're almost there. We should be there by the end of the year. So Jakarta office is one of our last offices in the region and in the world, and we're really hoping that it's going to be very successful.
In particular to Indonesia's in Jakarta office, what is the main purpose of the new office?
Well, our office is basically projecting the mandate that our agency has. We are operating under the Ministry of Economy, so we're publicly funded to do two things. One is attracting foreign direct investment into Poland, and we already have some direct investments from Indonesia. So we have two Indonesian companies that are actually manufacturing products in Poland. One is called Indo Food, and the other one is called Indorama. One is food products, and the other one is plastics. And the other mandate that I'm overseeing personally is the support of Polish business expanding outside of European Union. So because our exports are very concentrated on the EU. So Jakarta, with this big market potential, is obviously one of those places that we basically have to be. So that's why we set up an office there.
It's interesting because you mentioned like Indo Food or Indorama. What are you going to do with both of those companies?
Well, I mean, they found their niche in the market. Indo Food is producing those instant soups for the European market, and Rama is doing plastics packaging, basically PET products. So very successful investments.
Okay, we're joining with us at the moment is Arif from Head of Research CNBC Indonesia. Arif?
Yeah, as you know, Indonesia is the most populous country in the region. While we have a demographic bonus now in Indonesia, and it's a big problem for Indonesia too because the population too big. While on the opposite side, Poland is now facing a negative, growth in demography, and it's been challenging for years. Do you think there will be a solution that Indonesia and Poland can do to this matter for those two countries?
Demographically?
And in terms of like labor flow?
Sure. Basically our purpose is to get as much information about the Indonesian market to Polish businesses. Obviously, yeah. Poland is a very big internal market by European standards. We have almost 40 million population, so we're sixth economy in the European Union.
Yes.
With very healthy GDP growth, like Indonesian.
5%.
5%.
Yes, that's
so by EU standards, that's pretty good. And and we've really had a very consistent streak of growth. So we didn't really get hit by 2008 financial crisis too much.
Yes.
And we had a very consistent growth since then. So our exports over the past decade doubled. So Poland has been really expanding, and and this office in Jakarta is to facilitate further growth, and with our balance of trade, as you have explained, I think we still can do a lot more than we have done in the past.
So not only investment and trade, but also maybe flow of labor and capital.
Yes, absolutely. We are now discussing our skilled labor shortage. So I'm sure there's going to be opportunities for. Also for labor, for workers, for skilled workers in Poland. We've had a lot of, we had actually a population shift, so we've had a lot of Polish nationals working all over Europe, and we've had an influx of over 1.5 million Ukrainians, for example. So there's a big demographic shift happening, and as every European country, we're regressing, which means that 10, 15 years out, we're going to have a lot more need for foreign labor than we've had in the past. So.
Important question is the real investment that you're going to do in Indonesia, and what kind of sector that you think that the most important thing for Poland as a country to invest in the most populous country in the region.
Right. Well, we're essentially implementing the Polish balanced development plan that we have in operation for 3 years, and that plan focuses on 12 strategic industries that we think Poland is very competitive in because we've had a lot of companies very successful, for example, in the European Union. And those areas or industries start with traditionally, the mining, energy, transportation, infrastructure, like construction, industries that Poland has been known for in the world. But also we're now the 3rd largest food producer in the European Union. So there's a lot of sort of healthy lifestyle, agri products, as well as machinery that we're promoting, medical devices, cosmetics, generic pharmaceuticals. We've got a very vibrant IT electromobility scene. We're having a lot of companies that we're supporting actually with government money and research money to commercialize or work in partnership with foreign companies to promote ICT solutions, and IP ideas in fintech, biotech, etc. So there's a number of things that we can bring to Indonesia for business-to-business meetings. We have a very keen interest in shipping industry, shipbuilding basically, that Poland has been trying to revive.
You're going to add more to shipping industry?
I think in niche areas, yes. We have 2 existing shipyards, one in Gdańsk, one in Szczecin. We've been very successful over the past 2 years in small boat sales.
The narrow body.
Right, and we're talking really luxury segment as well, because we've sold over 20,000 small boats up to 9 meter long last year. Indonesia has a lot of islands, water. We've been very successful promoting those boats in Singapore last year as well. So we think it's a good market. I think I haven't forgotten anything major, but we're also very interested in bringing companies to Indonesia to look for their opportunities or competitiveness in
including the opportunity or the potential, like building a factory in Indonesia.
Exactly, to have the first investment project where we actually either setting up a factory or setting up a distribution center, that sort of stuff. So we would like to have sort of the first project, so we have a benchmark for working in Indonesia by a Polish company. I know there's a couple of IT companies because we met with them yesterday after the official opening.
Who did you met yesterday?
Well, there's a company called Comarch. This is a big player, 2nd largest in Central Eastern Europe, that is exploring now options to set up operations in Indonesia. They're all over the region. So I'm sure it's just a matter of time for us to have a Polish-based company here.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of sectors, but which one, like the 3 top priority sectors that you're going to invest in Indonesia? And can you mention potentially how much investment is going to be?
Well, that is difficult to say because we're not a business. So when I run a business, because I'm usually a business manager, then I can give you a number. But I'm sure the energy sector, energy services sector.
Energy services.
We already have a company working on your energy project, very big company by Polish standards, Rafako. So that kind of machinery, engineering services sector should be very successful, and that's usually a couple of million to maybe 20-30 million USD. That's usually involved in this kind of stuff. I think one other very important and very strong Polish industry sector is automotive component manufacturing. So there may be something in there. We're a very big automotive hub. And those are obviously industrial investments, business to business. So they usually go into tens of millions of investment dollars. Other than that, you know, business to sort of B2C, sort of consumer business, giving the big population in Indonesia should be also very attractive for Polish food products. So we're trying to move apples to Indonesia now, which we're very famous for. We've been selling them all over the world, and they've been very attractively priced and good quality for the money. And of course, once we have more volume of Polish companies coming here, the Made in Poland as a brand should be a little bit more recognized than in the past. So we're really hoping that by having an office here, we're really going to be
easier,
more visible, and put more money into marketing of Poland as a country of origin.
Yeah. Is there any products that you think that you're going to buy from Indonesia?
Well, I mean, we're already importing a lot of sort of exotic food products, juices, that kind of stuff. So agro business has been already pretty strong. I'm not really. Personally, I'm very interested, but professionally, I'm not really responsible for importers. But I'm responsible. I'm very interested in actually talking to Indonesian business in terms of Indonesian investments in Poland. So we're obviously, as a government agency, we're offering a number of services. We get grants for investors. We do localization services. All the labor assistance, skilled labor assistance that we provide, of course, the property tax breaks, corporate tax breaks. So any investor coming from Indonesia should knock at our door in, I guess, here in Jakarta and then in Warsaw to get the proper service in Central Eastern Europe.
Okay, Arif.
Yeah, okay, talking about number, investment last year, Polish investment to Indonesia reached 20 million. It's a 10 times increase.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
it
fantastic.
Was fantastic.
It's even before we have Polish Investment and Trade Agency office. Now we have the office. Can we expect another increase, like quadrupling investment? And how many?
We're here to triple the amount of money.
Triple of that number.
We have a low base, so
like
we should be we should be very successful.
Very confident,
60 million is very realistic.
Well, yeah, sure. I think it's absolutely realistic. We are here now full time, which means that our people will research the market much better. So once we have that information coming out of Jakarta, we can distribute that information to Polish businesses. And it's all about information management. So we would like to bring those Polish companies to the Jakarta office and expose them more to the market. So depending on their interest, depending on their industry, we will be organizing promotional events, business-to-business meetings, meetings with distributors, or maybe we can use some of the money that we have for research and development projects in Indonesia with Indonesian companies.
Yeah, Mr. Wojciech, is that depending as well from the investment climate that Indonesia's government created in here? What do you think about the climate investment in Indonesia? Because at less of ease of doing business, we are decreasing. Our position is decreasing from the ease of doing business.
Well, actually, globally, I also serve as a regional director for WIPA, which is the association of agencies, including yours, our counterpart agency here in Jakarta. So actually, the foreign direct investment dropped last year by roughly globally 20%. So globally. We are in a world that is deglobalizing in a sense. So you have a lot more barriers now, and protectionism. I think
because of the trade wars and
in terms as an effect, and of course you have the big trade wars between the big players. So in terms of global climate, we are seeing more sort of difficult times for investment flow than we have seen over the past, say, 3 years. But we're very open. I mean, our philosophy is that we would like to have a more exchange and more liberal policy. So it's hard for me to comment now on the barriers, access barriers to the Indonesian market, because I don't know that much about the market personally due to my global responsibilities. But I'm sure our people in our Jakarta office will map things out very fast.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Wojciech Fedko, Vice President, Policy Investment and Trade Agency. Secara exclusively, you're here with us. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Hera, for having me.